I gotta end. Hold on. Okay, there it is. Hey, 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 hey. Happy Monday. D. Williams here. And we are talking staffing today. This is our setup class. So first, if this is your first time here, I want you to do me a favor. I know I'm running a lot late today. I want to know what your name is, where you're chiming in from. I'm willing to share my late story. Y'all know I puppy sit every once in a while. And I have been puppy sitting, and the pickup of the puppy was late today. So I'm late today, but I'm here. So I'm thankful that everything worked out, and I'm excited to be here today. So this is our first class in 2025 where the setup class and the run it class are now merged. This is a big deal because for the last, since COVID, I would say, the setup and the run it class have been separate. Prior to that, the setup class and the run it class was together. So we're just bringing those classes back together again. And I'm really excited about that. So that class typically starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific every Monday. So your setup and your run it class are now conjoined. If you are an Academy member and you're watching this, please keep in mind, I hope y'all can hear me. Please keep in mind that, that you'll see that update in Reskillify until we move into the new platform. So I just wanted to start off there and to just give you heads up and let you know and remind you, I will not be going live early at 11 a.m. any longer because 11 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, because the classes have been merged. Hey, you want to come up here? Oh, this is the dog that's supposed to be going home and he's still here. Look, he's so spoiled. Yes, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say my name is Logan. Say hi. I am Logan. Stop sniffing me, Logan. Stop sniffing me, Logan. So hopefully, so now his dad's here. He'll be able to go home soon. But this is what the holdup has been all day, y'all. So now y'all know what's going on. And this is Logan. Okay, we done? You feel good? You got your minute of fame? Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't sing or talk like my last dog. My last dog, he would both sing and talk. But Logan does not. Not right now. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things today. We're talking about staffing and setting up your staffing business and growing and scaling your staffing business. And before I get into things, like over the last couple of weeks that we've been doing this, so hey y'all, hey everybody watching the replay. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been going over the setup checklist, which is just about done. People have been asking me, is the checklist done, D? Just about. Y'all know I'm a perfectionist. I actually have 3 checklists. I have the setup, the launch, and the run it checklist. So we have 3 core checklists that we're going to be working through to get your business up and going. But I have so many other exciting things. Like every time I start working on something, y'all, I literally get fired up. And then all of these other things start to come about. So I cannot wait to share those things with you all as they continue to unfold. Before we get into the checklist, I don't know if y'all been watching the news at all, but I have been paying attention to what's been going on. And I want to talk a little bit about hiring in the landscape, because and the way things look, like people are, all you see are articles where people are like, that everybody's getting laid off, the jobs are going away, different things like that. And I want you to not believe any of that. Not to say that those things are not happening, but just as those things are unfolding, there are other things that are unfolding as well, where companies are actually hiring in the masses. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that to get you fired up and to get you understanding that if you have a network, if you got a network of nurses, if you got a network of construction workers, if you got a network of project managers, if you got a network of whoever, if you have a network, then you're in a great space, because staffing is definitely one of the industries that you want to be in. Because if you have a network, you can monetize that network times 10 million and make some major cash off of that, right? And not just make major cash, but also to create a true legacy business. And a legacy business, in my opinion, is a business that lasts for an extended period of time. Not only does it last for an extended period of time, but you can build other business models off of that legacy business. Let's get fired up, y'all, because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about growing and scaling, right? I'm in rare form today, y'all. So all very, 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 important stuff. All really, really crazy important stuff. Okay. So let's talk a bit about, I'm going to share my screen here in a second. We're going to actually go to Google. Okay. We're going to go to Google and we're going to go in and we're going to look at some of the other things that we have going on and just the, how much you're needed right now in the business of staffing. Don't let anyone fool you. And then we're going to get in a little bit of process. I was actually meeting with one of my clients who's on my call right before you all, and we were doing process just a little bit. And I got fired up because she was asking me about, she's looking to fill a really hard position, a position that's crazy hard. And I went in and I was showing her all the different ways she could do that. And it was just pretty dope, right? It reminded me of how exciting, just how exciting things are. So let me actually share my screen. So hold on first. Y'all know my screen sharing capabilities be crazy sometimes. Hold on one second. I'm so glad to see y'all here. Oh my gosh. I miss y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. For real though, what's your name? Where are you chiming in from? What's your niche? I want to know. Please share with me. I definitely want to know. Okay. So let's go in and get the share on. Share. And we're going to go and share this screen right here. And let's add it to the stage. Hey, there we are. And I'm going to remove my banner. There we go. And let's kind of dive in. So just small things that I see, right? One thing I got to tell y'all, I actually work with a lot of nurses. I mean, like a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors and different things like that. And there are a few things that have happened over the last couple of months that we have to talk about with our nurses first, and then I'll dive into some of the other areas of staffing. Hey, how are you? Under our roof, how you feeling? But I want to dive in. So if you're a nurse watching this, a doctor, or if you have a CNA, LPN, LVN, nurse practitioner, what have you, and you have a network, this is 100% the area that you want to be in. So I got to tell you something. This happened that a lot of people don't realize this happened. Okay. So number one, with a lot of things that is happening with immigration, I just need y'all to know this is a real thing. And I've only had one person call me with an understanding of how this is working and affecting their community. With the whole issue with immigration and so forth, people are going back to their home countries, and that is leaving an opening in a lot of different areas. Specifically in healthcare, there's a shortage already with nurses. And when you pull nurses out that are here on visas, because there are also like special nurse visas that are out there, when you pull them out, it actually opens up the door for more opportunities. And this puts us in a position, staffing agencies, where we can go in and actually fill that need, right? Fulfill that need. And I feel like this is a big space. This is a big space that people aren't thinking about. So that's one area that I want you to be like, okay, D, you're right. Okay, I get it. I'm feeling that energy. I get it. Yes, there's an opening there. Okay, so that's that. Second, there are laws that are changing there. And this just happened the other day. I'm going to just see. This is the one that I wanted to talk to you about. This is for all my nurse practitioners or all my healthcare under one roof, watching from Illinois. Yes, she says I don't know if you're a male or a female. I didn't look at your full profile, so I apologize if I am misgendering you. But watching from Illinois, interested in starting a staffing agency, you are in the right place. Let me just tell you that, okay? So let me tell you, the Washington Examiner just posted this, and I've been keeping a very close eye on this. I've been keeping a close eye on this. So Evers signs a bill that enables nurses with advanced credentials to practice independently. Governor vetoes measures on gig drivers, revocation, and direct primary medical care. So essentially, Governor Tony Evers signed legislation on Friday that clears the way for nurses with advanced training to practice independently. This is very important. This is very, very, very important. Okay. And I'll get into all of that why, when, where, and all of that stuff. This is more about you just being open to what's happening and the opportunities that are there and available for you. But I want you to understand that this is this is very important. Okay. So they're opening this up. This is very, very important. I'll put the chat in there. The link in the chat, you can go in and check that out. So that's number 2. Laws are being passed. So the reason that I'm saying this is you got immigration, you got laws, right? You got a shortage. These are all 3 recipes for you to be able to have the opportunities that you want and that you need to start and have a successful, profitable staffing agency. Hello, right? And so it's very important for you to start looking outside of your comfort zone, to start giving yourself an opportunity to see, okay, how can I fit in? How can I go in and make this mine? So I want to definitely kind of throw you in, get into your Google News, check out laws for your niche market. I just use nurse because I saw a lot of laws are being passed right now. And that's really, really, really big. I also saw something else. Let me see if I have it still up on my screen over here, because I also saw where the virtual nurses, I'm going to show y'all this too. And I have one of my favorite staffingpreneurs, shout out to Nursey Connect, does virtual nurses, right? And a lot of healthcare facilities are rolling out virtual nursing care to help address the shortage. And so many of you who are offering staffing services in the healthcare space, I guess my question to you is, are you looking at just placing physical nurses, or are you open to having a conversation with employers in regards to, virtual nurses, right? Virtual staffing. And as you can see here, I just typed in virtual nurse. The volume of search is 1,900 a month. How many people are searching for the term virtual nurse? And there are about 6,900 results, most of them here, within the last couple of weeks, right? Nurse completes virtual pan mass challenge after missing ride. I don't know what that is. Ohio succeeding with smart rooms. I'm sure that has something to do with virtual nursing, right? Emory launches virtual nursing initiative using AI-driven technology to enhance patient care. Where are my staffingpreneurs who are in my automation class on a weekly basis? This is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been building. The automation class will be starting up again soon. So if you're interested in building your own AI technology to support the niche market that you are in, the time is now. Dr. Rice said, let's go. I love that. Dr. Rice said, my niches are cybersecurity and healthcare. Let's go. Let's do it, right? So the time is now to get your software off the ground to help support the market that you are supporting. So virtual nurses are also something that's really, 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 really hot right now, period. Okay. Hot right now. So I really want you to get fired up about that. Now, I'm just looking at the healthcare side of things. And again, I'm on Google News. It's a place that you can go to as well, just to see what is out there, right? And I just like nurse hiring. But there are other markets that are hurting beyond nurses, right? I mean, I'm just throwing it in there so you can know to go in. If you're looking for clients, to me, this is where you should be going, right? Versus going into a job board that already has the ability to go in and hire individually. If I was, and running my staffing agency and kind of doing my own thing, I'm telling you, I would be online like, okay, how do I make that happen? What do I need to do to make that happen. And I would be looking for opportunities such as this, like resources and different things like this, such as this. Oh, okay. See if this sounds better. I hope this sounds better, y'all. So here, I just typed in nurse hiring. Mara Vista Behavior Health Center is hiring registered nurses with up to a 15K bonus. Who's called Mara Vista Behavioral Healthcare Center? Have you called them? I'm asking. Have you made that call? Okay. Washburn County is hiring full-time public health nurse. Have you called them? Have you reached out? I'm just asking. Okay. Like with St. Francis Hospital to host hiring fair for new grads. Have you reached out? Have you asked them how did it go last month? Local health system grows and invests in nursing work. So I want you to be looking to see what's happening right now, live, real, all of those things. Okay. So that's there. Now let's go out of healthcare just a little bit. And we're going to just go in and look at hiring. And I'm just going to say challenges. Now, y'all know I've been talking for a long time about the different areas where hiring is absolutely needed. We know right now that ICE is hiring like crazy. They even have they have stuff all over YouTube and everything like that. I only watch YouTube, but all over YouTube, have you reached out to see if they need support with that? Anyone that's going into an entry-level position, I feel like it's going to have a challenging time right now with finding work, right? Unless they already have some experience. But this creates an opportunity for you as a staffing agency to begin to create those training programs that will help support people get into roles that you in the areas that you are looking into. Okay. So that's very, very, very important. Okay. And I want you to keep in mind for every company that's laying off, there's a company that's hiring. And while I know that what I'm saying here pretty much is related to technology, it's just a place that I like to go to show people that companies are spending money. They are genuinely spending money to hire. But we're not going into the places to where they are spending money to hire. We've got to go into the places where they're actually spending money, right? And so that is actually happening. So I'm gonna go in and just look. These are and I'm gonna see because they just changed the outlook, the funding round. So give me 1 second. Let me just go on the funding rounds. Okay, perfect. They just changed the outlook. So they're not going to show me everything because I don't have a paid version, but this actually you don't even need a paid version to kind of get an idea of what's happening. Like this company Ramp on July 30th got $500 million. I mean, what you think they're going to do with this money? You think they're not going to hire people with it? Series B, August 6th, Super Gaming got 15 million. You think they're not going to hire from this? OpenAI just got, this looks like 40 billion. That's a lot of zeros. I don't know. That looks like 40 billion. I'm almost sure that's 40 billion and not 40 billion. March 31st. Little Pete, 16 million. Roulette, 70 million. These companies have money. When companies get money, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to hire. They're going to, increase their product service offering. They're going to, train. They're going to get salespeople, right? They're going to need to sell the stuff that they're creating. They're going to be hiring people. So this is just another way for you to see. And if you're like, D, I don't know anything about that. And how do I know if this applies to me? I would go back to Google, not to Google Labs, but to Google. And I would say funding rounds. And then I like to go into news because it tells me who's got the funding rounds like immediately. And then you can go in and just type in health, like healthcare, right? Or something like that. And then what it will do is allow you to see and I'm just saying if you're in healthcare, because like a lot of my client base is in the healthcare space. And then you can go in and start to see who got money. Translucent 3 days ago got $7 million in seed funding. Who's getting ready to call them to find out how they can support them? They are a platform for healthcare operators. Okay. Fierce Biotech funding tracker They got 153 million in a Series B. Okay, that was 4 days ago. What do you think they're going to do with that $153 million? They're going to want to spend it on you, staffing. Okay, so you can go in and figure out who is hiring and different things like that. Again, I just don't want you to have this thought process that like you're seeing all of these companies and people that are laying off and different things like that. The government is totally different from public, right? And so those people from the government are probably going to get public jobs. So for every company that is laying off or letting go, there is a company that is hiring the same amount of people. And the companies that are receiving the most money are the companies that you can bet on more than anything, right? So 12 million series funding 2 weeks ago. Who's called the Lowenstein? C8 Health. Who's called C8 Health? Mints. These all of these are health. Just FYI, these are all healthcare for my people that are in healthcare. And again, I'm going to say this 1,000 times. If Ellipsis Health got 45 million in funding in June, right now they are hiring. 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 So I just wanted to throw that there out you. And again, that was just in health. There are 7 to 8 different types of funding rounds that are available for you to go in and search. So I just want to throw that out there. But at the bare minimum, if you just do hiring challenges, you can go in and find many companies that are actually looking to hire and they're having a hard time. But upskilling and reskilling is a major challenge for everyone. And because it's a major challenge, when you have your staffing agency, you should not be looking at your business model specific to just placing people, robots, and AI. Or in my version, it's people, AI, and robots, right? You should be thinking about, how you can offer those things, but also how you're upskilling your staff, how you're reskilling your staff, and allowing you to stay ahead of the game, not just ride with the tide, but to actually be ahead of the curve. So as things are transitioning and taking place, you have your place and your position in all of this. And that's very important because things are about to change very quickly. And I've been talking about it, for the last couple of months because I'm in this IT scene with AI and I'm listening, I'm going to these events, I'm watching these conferences, and they are screaming, yelling, hollering at the top of their lungs. There are going to be very few jobs in the next 10, 15 years, or what we know jobs or employment or the future of work to look like is going to be very different. And so I agree with that. I agree with all of those things. I think that only the most talented, brilliant people are going to be the ones that are going to be working. I believe they're going to be 10 million times more entrepreneurs, which is one of the reasons that I'm here showing up with you live every week, even though I probably could be chilling on a beach somewhere. I'm here because I want you to have your own business. I want you to start your own thing so that when the transition takes place, you're not one of the people that are trying to figure out, how do I continue to function? How do I make it in this world? You're already pre-prepared, and preparation is key. Jillian says, D, you're always 10 steps ahead. I try. I really do. It happens, naturally. I feel like I'm always looking to see, how does this affect that? How do we create an opportunity for this to happen? And what if this doesn't happen? Or what if this does happen? So I'm constantly thinking about that. And as people are telling me, D, jobs are going to change, and the way we represent jobs are going to change, all of those things, it makes me think, okay, so what's next? And I want to be prepared for what's next. And I want you to be prepared for what's next. It's so interesting, and I'm going to pull off my share just for a second. The tech gurus are basically saying that in the next 10, 15 years or whatever, people aren't really going to be working like that. Everybody's going to be living their best life, and there are only going to be few people working because AI and robots are going to be doing everything. I don't know that I am sold into that vision fully, but I do think that there is going to be a major shift in the way that we work and how we work. And I do think that that more entrepreneurs are going to be created, and we need to start thinking in that way. I don't know if AI is going to be our friends fully or if it's going to be our foe. But I do believe there's an opportunity for us to continue to expand and to continue to build legacy on the backs of where we are today and where we're looking to go. And so that's what I'm all about, and how I want to help, you all bring everything back into play. So with all of that being said, let's dive in and just do a really, really quick review on some of the things that we have been talking about over the last couple of weeks, just to make sure we're on the same page and how I can support you. So I'm sharing my screen again, and I do believe by Monday of next week, I'll be ready to put the calendar out. Okay, for anybody who needs the calendar. Now, let's start with the calendar before we even get into the checklist. Okay. So many of you have expressed to me that you're having a very hard time managing your schedule and trying to bring your business to life, right? You're trying to bring this business to life, but you're working a full-time job, or you're trying to bring this business to life, but you are a wife or a husband, you got kids, whatever the situation is, and you're trying to find time. And so what I've done, and I'm showing it to you, because if you want to make your own version, you can, or you can wait until mine is completely done and you can purchase a copy of this. If you're not an Academy member, if you are, it will be in the Academy for you to acquire for free. What I did was I started out with just creating different time blocks. Okay. So for the setup of the business, typically there are only 2 time blocks. There's working in the business, working on the business, and maybe making time for me and making time for my family. And if that's the case, then I probably should move it further up. Right. So like right there. And then you start getting into train me, time to source, interview, and hire internally. That means the team that you are that's working in your company right now, or that will be working in your company right now. And I want to stop for a second here really, really quickly, just because I was just having this conversation with my class. When y'all start looking at this checklist, right? When y'all see the checklist, the thing that I see a lot of people do is they look at the checklist and then they define on the checklist what they're going to check off and what they're going to complete, and not complete everything, because it seems overwhelming, because we're now in a time, day and age where people are pretty lazy, right? They want immediate satisfaction. They want it to happen right now. And they don't really want to take the time to like really put anything together. And so it's like, okay, I don't want to finish that. But leaving these things out, even prior to you hiring someone, limits your ability to be able to scale your business and generate revenue quickly, period. It limits your ability to scale. So, and I make a lot of money off of people who leave this part out. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you for funding my pockets. Okay. You don't have to do that if you follow the instructions from the very beginning the right way. Then you don't need me in that retrospect. But people don't follow instructions, and they skip things, and they figure, since I don't have anybody to hire right now, I don't have the money to hire, whatever, I'm not planning on hiring for 6 months to a year later, there is no need for me to do these things, which in all actuality, it's 100% a need for you to do these things from the very beginning, so that you can scale your business in the most organic way. I'm sorry, I thought I saw Nelly here. Hey, Nelly, that's my girl. Nelly's in the house. Now, every time I see Nelly, she reminds me to tell y'all, can y'all please like this video? Can you like this video? Can you share this video? Please subscribe to my channel. Y'all are doing so good. We're almost at 20K. I think we're like 50 to 100 people away from 70K. So please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and all that great stuff. Thank you, Nelly, for the reminder. Just you being here is a reminder. And I really appreciate you always being here, supporting me from day one, pretty much. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I wanted to say that to Nelly. Okay. So now you train the team. So we did train you. Why is this important? Because I meet people who don't want to take the time to learn. They will pay for things. They will go and pay for the new technology. They'll pay for the coach. They'll pay for the process, and then they won't do anything afterwards. But once you pay for things, you still are also required to learn how to use the things that you paid for, even if it's just learning how to work with your instructor appropriately. But typically, you're going to have some type of software, technology, process, what have you, that you need to learn how to do things. So you need a train me time block so that you can train yourself on the things that you've learned. Okay. Then after you start setting up things for your team, you are also going to need a train the team time block. Because the thing is you're going to tell me, like you all do, I don't have time, D. I don't have time. I don't have time to do such and such, whatever the case may be. But you can make time with this, with your calendar. You can definitely make time. You have managed the team time block. You have time for sales research, sales calls, lead generation, marketing, networking, online networking events, because you should be going to online events and in person, right? And then time to source externally, meaning the candidates that you are sourcing, the candidates that you're putting into positions. Then you have your credentialing, right? And then you want to be able to onboard your internal and your external team, and also onboard your clients, okay? Very important. And then after you start working in the business, you're going to have start my day tasks and end my day tasks to ensure that you and your team are doing everything that needs to be done appropriately. And then what I did was I went in and I set up a part-time calendar and a full-time calendar for the setup phase, because most of my clients I have coming in that are just getting started, they're just trying to figure out how to maintain their business and set the business up. So I like to start the calendar off. This is a full-time. I'm going to start off with a part-time first. Part-time calendar. Okay. So what we did was we started, what time do you start work? Or what time do you start your day? What time do you end your work day? And then where can you not work? So we X'd this out. I can't work during these hours because I'm working my other business. So I'm working my full-time job. And then I'm going to just eat dinner, relax, train, do whatever with my family for dinner. And then I've got time to work in the business. So according to this schedule, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day to work on the business. It's actually not a lot of time working on the business, but it's just enough time to get the business set up. Okay. So you've got roughly 5 hours a day to where you can work on the business Monday through Friday. And on maybe Friday, it's less. Maybe on Friday, you take a little bit longer because you don't work in the evenings. You only work during the day. In my opinion, the way my coach always told me is you don't get a day off until you make $1 million. When you make your first $1 million, then you can have a day off. Until you do that, then your ass is going to work every day. Which, okay, I'm all for it. It gives you a goal, right? Then you've got to figure out what your day is going to be like on Saturday and Sunday. And I want to just remind you of this very quickly. The calendar that you're putting together right now, it doesn't represent who you are as an employee. It represents who you are as an entrepreneur. And the person that is creating this business, they're not the same person as clocking in for someone every day. That's a totally different version of you. Okay. And that's going to take a little bit of time for you to process. So you might want to sit and think with that before you decide to start that business. But I'm going to tell you right now that the version of you that is running a business is not the same version of you that is actually working for a company. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Put a 1 in the box if that makes sense. The version of me working for someone is not the same version of me who's going to show up the way I need to show up as a entrepreneur. Okay. So that's why another reason why I'm giving you this calendar, because when you're an employee, you don't live by your calendar typically, right? You just know I got to be to work at what time, I got to get off at what time, and then everything else is kind of free for all. But we're not doing that, okay? Because you are a multi-million, multi-billion, some of you are multi-trillion heirs, okay? In real life, that's who you genuinely are. You're showing up as this imposter working a full-time job to gain experience, knowing that you are this multi-million, billion, trillionaire who is supposed to be running this multi-million, billion, $1 trillion business. So that version of you is the version of you that I need to show up, okay? That's the version that I need you to show up for yourself. not for anyone else, but to show up for yourself in that way. That's what this calendar is for. And this is the part-time calendar that you're using. Now, I work with a number of companies, especially like real estate agents and different people like that. They are not working a full-time job. They are trying to expand their legacy right now today. And in order to do that, they're bringing on another line of business. They're investing in another line of business. And so they're working on their business full time. And I want to say this for both my part-timers and my full-timers, both of you. I want to let you know why right now, because this is also very important. Do you see this time that you're putting into this business where you are not hanging out with your friends? You are not hanging out with your family. Very little of that. You're 100% focused on building out this dream, making your life different from what it is today, ensuring that your children, that your family has a legacy when you are gone. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. All of this time. This is time. I just want you to know that you only got to put this amount of time in for about 6 months to a year, maybe less than that, right? It might only be 3 months, but you don't need to put it in there for a long time if you follow the instructions the right way. You're going to put this time in because you're building this business out and you're putting this time in so that you can create an opportunity for other people to come in and work for you, whether that be humans, whether that be AI, whether that be robots. I don't care who you got in there, but if it's humans, they're going to need instruction. They're going to need to know what the business does, how it works, and instruction. If it is AI, it's going to need to be trained. Do not believe because you bring AI into your business, no training is needed. AI is made in the minds of humans. So with that being said, it has to be trained. And if it's not consistently trained, then that AI will not be aligned and it will start doing its own thing. Okay, so it's very, very, very important that you understand that that you're building this out to train a human employee, an AI employee, or a robot to take over the work. So while you're putting things together, working on the business, because this is my calendar, just setting the business up. I'm setting this up. I'm training. I'm recording my stuff once I get it together. I'm doing that because I know that I am only doing the work in the beginning just so that I can make sure things are done right, compliant, and up to my standards. Beyond that, I'm setting things up for someone else to come into the door. One of the biggest challenges I believe that entrepreneurs make is they feel like because they don't have money and they don't have resources and immediately that they shouldn't set up their infrastructure for that, not realizing that you're going to move into a very reactive mode very quickly. The moment that that business gets up and going, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I should have did that from the very beginning so that now I can move and grow my business a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? Okay, love you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so very, very, very important. So I'm going to just like hide this sheet right now because those two sheets were related to setting up the business. I also did part-time and full-time. Hold on. Where's my sheet? Where's my sheet? Where'd she go? There she is. I also did part-time and full-time calendars for when you're actually working in the business. And that's where that key, in my opinion, really kicks in really well. I left some open spaces for you to go in and to do that. And then you can go in and add space, and that way you'll be able to get everything done. And this is going to be very important for you and your team to really kick things off, to be able to handle all the things that you need to handle. And you notice I added in Sunday praise, I added in personal time for dinner. I added lunch plans, get up, work out, eat, walk, watch anime. That's what I love to do. Dance, listen to music, read a book, talk to your mama, whatever. I got 2 hours to play and do that. And in the morning, I can do whatever I need to do. On my part-time calendar, as you can see, my day starts at 4 a.m., which is the time I get up. I go to bed at midnight. And these are all the things that I do throughout the course of the day. In my work day is mainly around working. At my end day is mainly around personal time, right? So you have to structure the calendar exactly the way you feel like you want and need to structure it. And then I just put a couple of sample calendars in there for you to structure there. So this is something that is coming. If you don't want to purchase it, that's fine. Go and create your own. You need a calendar where you're blocking things off specific to the business. So that's a quick replay of what we've done over the last couple of weeks. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to show y'all something new. actually. But I'm going to go in. I want to share with you the checklist that we've also been working on. We started out with the main checklist that we've had for the past year. Right now it's dirty because I'm going in and restructuring everything. This is how it looked originally. I went in and started adding detail after detail after detail after detail because I was like, no, I've worked with enough people to know that a lot of people are really genuinely not following the instructions. And so I started to create a lot of detail around that. And then I got fired up and was like, wait, I need to restructure this thing. And I want to share it with all the staffingpreneurs to make sure that I'm building it in a way that's going to be beneficial for everyone. So I started to redesign it, and I knew that I wanted to put the course number for Staffingpreneurs Academy. And then I wanted an area for you to be able to check off to say that you completed the tasks, but not only the tasks, but the assignments that are associated with the tasks. So that was really cool. And then I went in and said, okay, that's really great. But as I'm working with people, I realized that they have a very misunderstanding about the time that it takes to actually bring a business to life. For the last 2 weeks, that's what the conversation has been. Y'all already know the deal. I had signed on a client who I absolutely fell in love with, only to come to find out that that client had no interest in working on their business or at all. They really paid me and thought that I was going to build their business for them. And that's not what they paid for. And therefore, pretty much complained about not being able to just have the website up after they legalize the business and to actually just start running the business. And I had to remind them, and I'm hoping that they've watched me talk shit about them on every last one of my videos over the last couple of weeks, because I was pretty disappointed that they turned out that way. But those videos have been as a reminder that, like, when you're starting a business, if you're starting a multi-million-dollar business, one that's going to be sustainable and it's going to live for an extended period of time and not close after 2 months. I just talked to someone today. He said the guy started a business, had a beautiful office in downtown Atlanta. 2 months later, the business was closed because they couldn't make any money. You have to have time to learn. You have to have time to learn. You have to have time to plan. You have to have time to do at the bare minimum. Every business requires it. I don't care if you have AI or not. I don't care if you're hiring a staff or not. There are things that you as the entrepreneur, as the CEO, as the owner have to do. And one of those things is to sit your ass down and learn. I said it. I said it, and I said it hard, because some of y'all have very fictional thought processes around what it takes to actually start a multi-million-dollar business. You have to sit down and learn. You have to understand. You have to understand the business in full. You got to understand the technology. You got to understand what's failed. You got to know what's happening with your competitors. Like, there are a lot of areas of this business that you actually have to take your time to sit down and to learn, period. It's not, you can't get around that. So learning time is important, and it happens every day. Then once you learn something, the next thing you got to do, plan. You got to plan things out. You got to write a plan out. You can't just sit there and learn something and then just have it floating in your mind and start implementing things without a solid plan. And to me, when someone comes to me and they say they have a plan and I don't see it written, and I'm not talking about a business plan, because a business plan is a formal it's a formal document to help you get a loan. Potentially, most people aren't using the business plan as a guide for their business. They're using it to get money. I'm talking about the plan that you want to create in order for you to be able to actually bring this business idea to life, right? So there's this planning time. Now I've acquired this information. Now that I have this information, I need to do something with the information. I need to figure out how I'm going to utilize this information to my advantage. Once you figure out how you use the information to your advantage, then you've got to go and do. I said it. You got to do. Okay. So you got to learn, you got to plan, and you got to do. You have to actually physically invest in your time and your business to actually make it happen. And I got to tell you, sometimes doing, you think, oh, this is just a 15-minute kind of thing. And it ends up being a 5-hour time kind of thing. And that's probably because you didn't take the time to learn or to plan before you started doing. And that's okay. You're just wasting time. If you follow the format, you're going to learn, plan, and do, and then you can be more effective with your time. Okay, so that's very important. Hey, Randy. Yes, you already know I'm recording this. You can catch it on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and afterwards, and it'll be here for you. And then I want you to do me a favor, Randy, when you get a chance, comment, let me know your thoughts, let me know your questions. I go back to all my replays and I answer and respond to everyone. So if you have any questions, just definitely just put them up right up under the video and I will be more than happy to support you. Also in the description under my video, you can reach me at staffingpreneursacademy.com. I would love to talk to you. You will probably end up, if not on my team's calendar, on my calendar, and I would love to talk to you about your idea, your business, bringing it to life. Let me help you bring that thing to life, okay? This is what I love, so, okay. So very important. So now that I've gotten that out the way, I love you, Randy. So now that you know the things you've got to do, and I got a whole little list here. I've got learning time, planning time, and doing time. Sometimes you got to plan and do it at the same time. Sometimes you got to learn, plan, and do it at the same time. And then Stephanie came along and said, D, can you add a done? So I did that. And then I came back the following week and said, okay, I don't think that's enough because we still have people that still have a misunderstanding about what it takes. So I put in the time that it takes to actually complete these things, right? So I put it in minutes. So if it's 12 minutes to read the blueprint, to review, it takes 60 minutes to complete the first task and the assignments associated with the tasks on day one, whether you're full-time or part-time, 60 minutes, 1 hour. And then I did the same thing for all the other tasks. So you can see my part-timers, you're going to hit this on day 2, where my full-timers on day 1 are still going to be grinding on their day 1 tasks. But it gives you a better understanding of how much time you actually genuinely need to put in order to actually bring this business to life. Now, I gotta tell y'all something. I'm excited. Y'all can hear my voice. I gotta tell you something. I created this checklist for my staffingpreneurs, but I actually am working on one for entrepreneurs who are just starting a business as a whole. Like, I have been so empowered by this checklist and hearing the feedback, because I get a lot of feedback from people, especially after my lives. They will send me a text message or send me a message and it is like, D, oh my God, that checklist was everything. You know, when can I get it? I need it, da 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 da. But as I'm getting that feedback, I'm asking questions, and I just need you to know that this checklist is constantly expanding. And I'm going to do one for entrepreneurs as well that are not starting staffing businesses, but they're just starting a business as a whole. All right. So we put our part-time and our full-time timeline in there. I added a row for completed date and a monthly cost, so you can have an idea of how much it's going to cost to make things happen. And now we have this main checklist. And this checklist is, when I tell y'all, this is what I'm doing in my spare time right now. I mean, like, you know, I'm in LA right now. I'm on the beach, you know, not in this moment, but I get on the beach and I'll go in, okay, planning time, how much it's going to take for them to do that. And I'm really just trying to make it structured for you all to be able to get a good understanding of what you need to do. And hopefully in the new format of the checklist, you'll be able to take this checklist and complete all the items so that you can build your business out to scale from the very beginning versus later, right? So we've got this main healthcare setup, and move this up here. It's driving me crazy. And then I started the launch checklist. So I nobody asked me for the launch, but I do feel like it's very important, because when you're launching your business, most people take the lazy way out to launch. They say things like, oh, I've launched because I've opened my doors, or I've launched because I just decided to today. When in all actuality, launching your business should be about acquiring leads, acquiring candidates. So you should be planning your launch, right? So you should either be planning a hard launch or a soft launch. A soft launch is online. A hard launch is in person. And so we go through, and I'm constantly playing with this. So this checklist is not done because I'm trying to figure out how I want to reposition it. I moved some of the launch stuff to the setup. some here. So it'll be complete by next week as well. And then we'll go in and start adding the minutes and so forth. And then the final part, which is what I thought I was actually going to go through today, which I'm probably not going to be able to since I was running late today. I'll do it next week, is giving you an idea of actually running the business. And I'm talking about actually sitting down. How do I run this business? How do I make it real? How do I happen? And so I've added all the tasks. I have not added the assignments under the tasks yet, but I've added all the tasks, and I've started adding in some of the assignments of the things that you want to do to make sure that you are actually running the business. So you're going to learn how to source, how to get your talent, how to research, all of those things, all the things you need to do on a consistent basis to actually run the business. So this is what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. When I come back on next Monday, and I'm going to just tell you that this week will probably be the last week that you'll only see me on a weekly basis. I'm going to probably start going live a little bit more to get ready for the live recording of the Academy, which this will be the second time I've tried that this year, but I feel more confident now that we got this checklist together. And so next week we're going to be going over running the business. Okay. So we've started out on setting up the business, making it real and different things like that. Next week, we're going to go over the checklist with running the business. So I want you to be back at the same time next week. We'll have 2 full hours to go through what that's like, what that looks like. When I started today, a couple of people from the class were talking about some of the challenges they were having with finding hard to find talent, which a lot of people think, I'm not going to have any issues with talent. I had that lady that I talked to this lady a couple of weeks ago, and she was completely offended, like completely offended, because I said to her, she said, listen, you're the coach. She was so rude. You're the coach. I'm the nurse. I know how to get nurses. And I'm like, that's interesting, because most facilities don't even know how to get nurses, so much that they're willing to pay big bucks to hire people to find nurses. So you think you got the answer, right? You think you got enough nurses? How many nurses do you know? Oh, I have a network of this, that. I'm just listening because I know factually that unless it's PRN, that employer has to approve the nurse coming on board. And you don't get to make that decision for that employer. That employer makes that decision. And just because you present someone doesn't mean that employer is going to want to hire them. Typically, you're presenting 5, 10, 15 people before an employer decides they want to hire one. So I don't care how big your network, unless your network is 50,000 nurses strong, 50,000 contractors strong, please don't talk to me about that. Your job should be to recruit for nurses every day. You don't have a network in real life. You have an opportunity to connect with people, but trust me, if it was that easy, companies would not pay you for it, period. They would not pay. They would not. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Very, very important. And Felicia, you said something that's very interesting. I just want to tap on that. This is Felicia from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Thank you so much. I definitely hope you go and check the replay out. You said this is great. I'm not looking at a staffing agency at the moment, but I do feel I can still use your format to get my business idea started. Not only can you use this format, but to get your business idea started, but a lot of things that you learn here should be in every business. Okay. So even though you're not offering staffing as a service, you still have to hire, right? And so this business model is about hiring. It's about hiring exceptional staff. So when you said, I feel like I can still use your format to get my business idea started, heck yeah, you can. You're going to use more of it than you can possibly imagine. You're going to use it to set the business up. You're going to use it so you'll understand how to hire your people. Oh my gosh, this is one of the most beneficial learnings you'll ever have. So yes, absolutely, you can definitely use it in that way. But I don't want you to fret, Felicia, because I have something for you as well, for all my entrepreneurs out there who are looking for a startup training that is coming soon. We are getting these businesses off the ground, no matter if you're staffing, if you're a restaurant, if you're a gamer, if you're in finance, it doesn't matter. We getting this business off the ground, okay? So it's happening. Just today, we're talking about staffing alone, right? But it's definitely happening. So next week, we're going to dive in because like today, I feel like we covered a lot of stuff. We talked about the fact that staffing is needed right now, that people need people need AI, people need robots. We talked about the fact that I do have an AI class where I help you take your business idea and turn it into an AI software. We talked about that. I know Nelly. Okay, I'm gonna have to get her. Then we talked about the checklist. We talked about the checklist. We talked about the calendar to keep you focused so that you can actually bring this idea to life. So that is very important. Okay, so that's very important. So these are all the things that we've discussed today. Next, we're going to get into next week. When you come back next week, which means you got to come back next week. When you come back next week, we are going to get into running the business. I'm not going to go through the launch. We're not going to go through the setup. We'll have 2 hours together. And we're really going to sit down and dive in and get into what it takes to actually run the business and just kind of going through the steps. This is going to be very important because it goes beyond just the setup of the business. This is where we're diving in into actually functioning, running the business, which is going to be very, 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 very important. I need you to be fired up. I need you to be fired up about your ideas. That's number one. Y'all know how I be. Y'all know I get so excited. I need you to be fired up about your ideas. I need you to be fired up about your ideas. I need you to be fired up about your business, actually bringing this business to life. I need you to be walking into this next version of yourself, not the version that you are today, but the version that you aspire to be. Very, 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 very important. And I want to be on that journey with you. You already know. Share some of this good energy with you. Make sure that you're actually achieving your goals. Many of y'all need somebody to just be on that ass to say, okay, D, I want to start this business, but I am unruly. And since my mama was whipping my booty and I left school, I ain't been the same. So I need you to be on me so that I can get this idea off the line. That's what you hire me for. It's not just for my brilliance. Okay. I am brilliant, but it's also to help hold you accountable, to keep you fired up, to keep you motivated. This energy you feel right now, this is what's going to get you waking up in the morning, ready to start your day and to really bring your business to life. That's why I love coming in live, talking to y'all every week, getting y'all fired up. Are you fired up? Come on. That's the energy I'm talking about right now. That's what we're getting into, the next version of ourselves. And each and every one of you are entrepreneurs in your own way, in your own right. And I am 100,000,000% here to support you on this journey. So next week, same time, same channel, be right here for you. If you're watching the replay, I absolutely love and adore you. And I am so excited to see you investing in yourself and investing in your business. This is a very, very big deal. We're going to come back, talk staffing again next week. And maybe even in the throughout the course of the week, I'll come in and share some tidbits with you. We do have another AI automation training live class coming up. I want you to be a part of it. I am doing an AI systems training. So I want you to be involved in that. We are going to be live. I'm going to probably be back in Dallas again, harassing all my Dallas folks with some type of live event. So be ready for that. If you are in the LA area, just so you know, I'm doing live free AI training for people here in Los Angeles physically, for people who want to understand how to work AI, how to use it appropriately, how to use it in work, how to use it in business. And different things like that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And I've got another program that's coming out in the near future for Black men specifically. And that's just a little sneak peek I'm just sharing with you. But it's going to be way more information coming out about that. And when it does, I want you to tag every Black man that you know, every foundational Black man that you know, and say, hey, D got something for you. And I want y'all to get them involved as well. So it's Monday. Y'all know I'm fired up, ready to take over the world. What my Nelly say? She said, D, I'm still, Nelly, you should be kicking my ass right now. matter of fact, I'm gonna call you as soon as I get off the line. I'm gonna walk the dog downstairs. This is my last day with the dog here. Then I'm gonna come back and give you a call. But make sure you call me if you don't hear from me, because you know my schedule gets crazy. All right. If y'all have questions, please leave them in the stream. Mwah, I love y'all. I really appreciate y'all time. And let's do the outro. Let's get the outro going, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.
Unleash your ideas. No time to wait. Build your dream. Don't let it escape. From the vision to the code, from the thought to the sale, you've got the fire. Now set your trail. Cause empires rise where ideas ignite. This is your moment. This is your life.